Today we're going to talk about adding fractions and mixed numbers. So the biggest thing that you need to know for adding fractions is, well, first we're going to rewrite it vertically, but then we need to find the LCM. So I'm going to highlight this right here. Step 2, we need to find the LCM, and we should be using our multiplication table for that. Once we do that, we're going to convert the denominators to that least common multiply by multiplying the numerator and the denominator by the same number. Then we'll add and simplify if necessary. So let's look at number 1. We've got 1/8 plus 5/8. So I'm going to add that here and here. So when we're looking for the LCM, we're looking for the least common multiple of our denominator, so the bottom here. So we've got 8 and 8, which are the same number, so their least common multiple is 8. So we don't actually have to convert the denominators here. The biggest mistake I see people make is they'll do 1 plus 1 is 6, and then they'll say 8 plus 8 is 16. We don't add the denominators once they're the same. We leave it as the denominator of 8, okay? Then we should always be double checking to see if our numbers can be simplified. So that's when you're using your factor chart, looking at 6 and 8. What do they both divide by? They both divide by 2. That is their GCF. 6 divided by 2 is 3. 8 divided by 2 is 4. So our simplified answer is 3/4. Okay, number 2, we've got 3/4 plus 1/12. So I'm putting the 1 down here. Again, we are looking for the least common multiple of our denominator. So 4 and 12, least common multiple. You're using your multiplication chart, looking for the least common multiples of 4 and 12. If you want to, you can write out your multiples on the side. 4, 8, 12, 16, 12, 24, 36, and so on, and look for the lowest one that they both share, which in this case is 12. Or you might be able to just look at your chart and see where's the first number that they both match up with. So their least common multiple is 12. So what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to jump right to the end over here. My denominator for both of these has to be 12. Now we need to convert them to get to that denominator. So we're starting with 4 here. How do I get from 4 to 12? I need to multiply 4 times 3, because 4 times 3 gives us 12. If I multiply the bottom by 3, I need to multiply the top by 3 as well. We have to do the same thing to the top and bottom. Kind of like you have to do the same thing to the top and bottom when you're simplifying. 3 times 3 is 9. Okay, down for here, we've got 1/12. Well, we need to get our denominator of 12 to 12. What do we multiply 12 by to get 12? 1. If I multiply the bottom by 1, I need to multiply the top by 1. 1 times 1 is 1. Now we're going to add. Again, you just add the numerators. 9 plus 1 is 10 over our denominator of 12. Then I'm going to use my factor chart to double check. 10 and 12. Can they be simplified by anything other than 1? Yes, they both divide by 2. So I'm going to divide the top and the bottom by 2. 10 divided by 2 is 5. 12 divided by 2 is 6. So our simplified answer is 5/6. All right, number 3, 1/8 plus 4/5. Again, first thing we are doing is we are looking for the least common multiple or the least common denominator. So 8 and 5, the lowest number that they both multiply into. If we look at this, 8 and 5, the first one that they both match up with is 40. So their least common multiple is 40, which I'm jumping straight to the end here. I know that the denominator in my answer should be 40. Now I need to figure out how do I convert to it. So I need 8 to become 40. What do I need to multiply it by to get to 40? 8 times 5 equals 40. If I multiply the bottom by 5, I need to multiply the top by 5. 1 times 5 is 5. For this bottom fraction, 5 to get to 40, I have to multiply 5 by 8. 5 times 8 is 40. If I multiply the bottom by 8, I have to multiply the top by 8. 4 times 8 is 32. Now we can add. 32 plus 5 is 37 over our denominator of 40. I would double check on my factor chart. 37 and 40. If I look there, the only number that they both share is 1. So I can leave it as 37/40. Okay, this you try. 4/7 plus 1/3. You can pause the video right now and finish that you try or come back to it at the end. I'm going to flip over to the back where we're not looking at just fractions, we are looking at adding mixed numbers. So it's the same exact steps. We're still going to rewrite it vertically. We're still going to find the least common multiple using our multiplication chart. We're going to convert those denominators. But then after we add the numerators, we're also adding the whole numbers. That's the only difference there. So let's look at this first example. We've got 15 and 3/4 plus 8 and 1/6. So when we're looking for our least common denominators, we're still looking at the bottom number. Those two need to be the same. 4 and 6, the lowest number that they both multiply into is 12. So their least common multiple is 12. That means the denominator in our answers should be 12. Now we need to convert to get there. Our denominator in our fraction here, we don't need to look at the whole number yet, but the denominator here, 4 times what equals 12? 4 times 3 equals 12. So if the bottom is 3 multiplied by 3, we have to multiply the top by 3. 3 times 3 is 9. The second fraction, we have a denominator of 6. How do we get from 6 to 12? 6 times 2 is 12. If we multiply the bottom by 2, we need to multiply the top by 2. 1 times 2 is 2, and then we can add. 9 plus 2 is 11 over our denominator of 12. 15 plus 8, well 5 plus 8 is 13, carry the 1, 1 plus 1 is 2. And then when I'm double checking to see if it simplifies, I'm just looking at the fractional part, 11 and 12. The only number they both divide by is 1, so I can keep it as 11/12, so our answer is 23 and 11/12. Number 5, 5 and 5/8 plus 11 and 2/7. First step, we're going to find that least common multiple of the denominator. So we're looking at the 8 and the 7. We need those to be the same. If we look on our multiplication chart, the lowest number that they both multiply into is 56. So that means the denominator in our answer needs to be 56. And now we need to convert. 8 times what will give us 56? 8 times 7. If I multiply the bottom by 7, I need to multiply the top by 7. 5 times 7 is 35. For the bottom fraction, 7 times what is 56? 7 times 8. If I multiply the bottom by 8, I need to multiply the top by 8. 2 times 8 is 16. Now we can add. We're adding our numerators. 35 plus 16. Well, 5 plus 6 is 11. Carry the 1. 1 plus 3 is 4, plus 1 is 5 over our denominator of 56. Then I'm adding our whole numbers. 5 plus 1 is 6. 0 plus 1 is 1. I will double check on my factor chart. 51 and 56. The only number they both share is 1, so I'm keeping it as 16 and 51, 56. Last one before the you try. 14 and 7/10 plus 7 and 2/3 fifths. Again, first thing we're looking at is finding the least common multiple of our denominators, 10 and 15. The lowest number that they both multiply into is 30. So their least common multiple is 30. That means the denominator in our answer over here needs to be 30. Now we can convert. 10 times what equals 30? 10 times 3 is 30, so if we multiply the bottom by 3, we need to multiply the top by 3. 7 times 3 is 21. And our bottom fraction, 15 times what is 30? 15 times 2 is 30. If I multiply the bottom by 2, I need to multiply the top by 2. 2 times 2 is 4. Now we can add. 21 plus 4 is 25 over 30. 14 plus 7, well, 4 plus 7 is 11. Carry the 1. 1 plus 1 is 2. I'm going to double check on my factor chart. 25 and 30. They both divide by 5. So I need to simplify by dividing my numerator and denominator by 5. My whole number still stays 21. 25 divided by 5 is 5. 30 divided by 5 is 6. So our final simplified answer is 21 and 5/6. All right, for the you try, I want you plugging in a 2 up here. So 2 and 3/4 plus 4 and 2/9. Go ahead and find that out.